Try it again. Do you see it?
No, I don't. Yeah.
Tiny.
I know. That night.
Yes. Slow live, but some kind of live. Maybe it's here yet. See if we can find it on your phone. Can you get the volume? Yeah, so can you hear volume on there?
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna show up. I am not a crook. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no. Mm-hmm. All right,
Mm-hmm.
oh, nobody's gonna freaking, it says,
3 people are watching us.
I was gonna say 3 people are
Yes.
watching.
So, just go ahead
Yeah, everybody just waiting for 6 o'clock. I see there's some people here, but still kind of waiting around. There's hello Patricia, how's it going? Looks like it's just gonna be you, me, and Brenda for right now. Maybe I can get the word out to the right channel. Maybe I can get the word out to the right, I don't know, whatever you call it. So yes. Yeah, I thought I did too, but I don't, I'm not very tech savvy. So I even put a little thing in the Discord, but I don't think I put the right, little numbers and letters stuff. I don't know. I don't know how any of that stuff works. So I just kind of do what I do. So
We're doing good.
Caden. Yeah, we're doing all right. It's finally 7. I think we just barely made it to 71 degrees today. It's been in the low 60s, close to freezing at night every night. So it's been cold, it's been rainy, but that's pretty much Wisconsin. Looks like we got some black clouds coming on right now. So, is it going to be real bad? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So, yeah, it doesn't look like it's a great a showing because I don't know. Maybe I have to stop watching other people's videos. No, I don't do watch a lot of videos too. I'm always working in the shop, so yeah, I'll kind of walk around a little bit and wait for see if anybody's gonna actually show up or not. I don't know. We'll find out. So yeah, so in case you didn't see earlier, this is some of the stuff I got in the estate sale. All these little bins were full of like little slabs. I got these nice, cool looking Sheds peanut butter cans. They came with 5 pounds of Sheds peanut butter. If you like Sheds peanut butter in a 5 pound can, this is probably what your family was getting. I'm not really sure what that monkey's doing or the clown on the tree. The monkey kind of looks like he's going to do something to the elephant's butt, but I'm not really sure. So that's for self-interpretation. Nice lion on there. We got a nice giraffe. And of course, and I looked at these cans up online and they're paying $15 a piece for them. Of course, only one of them has the lid. Nice Sheds, 5 pounds of peanut butter. Maybe they ate a lot more peanut butter back in the day. So, I don't know. Hey, BDN Star, how's it going? So yeah, that's a lot of peanut butter, right? Apparently peanut butter was in back in the day. I can remember kind of eating some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but more than likely we just starved. That's what I remember. Hey, Lesby Rockin', how's it going? We're doing okay. Waiting for a few more people to show up before I get too involved here. We're still kind of ho-humming around. We can look at our nice sunset here. If anybody wondering what the country life is, this is where I live. This is the country life. Yeah, we got a pretty good road that goes by on the front. It's actually a county road, so it can get busy at times, but there's the dog. But yeah, we own a bunch of land, so it goes like way back there. We got no neighbors, a lot of junk. So yeah, so that's some stuff. Of course, we ride motorcycles. There's my motorcycle. There's Brenda's motorcycle. You see, that's Brenda's motorcycle. She keeps it covered up. I just, whatever. Leave mine sit out in the open, right? So, yeah, like I say, this is where we keep the rough rock. There's the slab saw. Side by sides hiding in there somewhere. And yeah, this is where it really gets messy. But of course, this is a shop, so it gets pretty messy. There's always stuff being cut and polished and shaped and formed. I don't know if anybody was watching this week on some of my shorts. I cabbed up a bunch of cool looking whoop. I cabbed up a bunch of cool looking Jaspers. Bunch of different little pieces. So there was that. Like I say, I'm always this is the dog bed. Of course, he's got one of the cushions in the other room. So yeah, this is the the slab piles. He's got tons of stuff and processed. Here's where most of the work takes place. This is a Kingsley. You can see there, Kingsley cabber. So yeah, well, apparently it's just gonna be us few people here. So I'll go out there and I'll start showing you what I got. All right.
So tell them where this place was and what actually it was.
Oh yeah, okay. Hold on. Let me turn this around. So yeah, so we get like these buyer's guide, and so I need to put this way back over here again. turn this around again. Set this up again. Turn it around. Oh. So yeah, so we get this buyer's guide, and I had looking through it, and not a lot of stuff ends up in the newspaper anymore, but I just happened to see an estate sale, and it had, besides all the other things it listed, it had lots of jewelry, and then it said homemade jewelry, rocks, and mosquito, rocks, and equipment. So you're thinking, well, yeah, homemade jewelry, rocks, and equipment. I was thinking, is it going to be like, the beads or the little stone necklaces you can buy at like Kingsley or Fire Mountain or whatever, where they sell. And was that what it's going to be? A bunch of beading stuff, the stone stuff. I didn't know, so I figured I would go there. And of course, if you're familiar with estate sales, if you're gonna go there, you gotta go there. So it's like 37 degrees or 36 degrees. This is Saturday morning. It was 36 degrees, and I was out there an hour before they opened up, standing there going like, holy man, is it freaking cold? Not that cold, but cold enough. So I wasn't dressed for it. So I sat and I waited till they opened up, and then I went inside and checked stuff out. And the guy said, it's all one lot. So everything or nothing. And he said his grandpa had passed away. It was all his stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. Let's see it. So we go down to the basement, and right away I'm kind of looking, and he says, yeah, so it's an all-in, it's $250, and it's either all or nothing. So I was kind of thinking like, well, I'm just going to cherry pick a couple of things, and, whatever I got to pay. And then he said all or nothing for $250. I thought, well, that's probably not a real bad idea, although a lot of the stuff I didn't need. $250 for everything, I guess, is probably a good way to buy it in a package deal. So I'll turn this back around, or not turn around. So this is what I got. Oh, let me move some rocks off there first. So this is an 8-inch trim, and everything works. This is an 8-inch trim saw, and it kind of looks like it might be some kind of a homemade kind of dealy. But it's got the guard, got the blade on it. 8-inch trim saw. This here, same thing, it works. And this is a polisher, and the pad sits on here and then spins around, and this is a polishing thing, or a flat lap, whatever you want to call it. Brand new pad on there. And then of course the Lortone model SA8 polishing arbor, and and he's got, like, you can just see what he did with this stone is just totally shot, and that one's kind of worn out. But what you do with these is you run an expandable drum on there, and then you can put belts on there. So you do your grinding on one side, and then you use your chain. And he's got two stones on both sides, but this is the side with your drum on. And then when your drum's on there, you can just change belts and then go through the stages. So you look these up online, and they're like $250. So, boy. Hey, Leslie Rocket, how's it going? Yeah, Brenda's supposed to be paying attention to the who's coming in and out, but she's not. So yeah, I've seen these for sale anywhere from $200, $300 to $500, depending on what it is, and it's actually in really good shape. Again, will I use it? I don't know, probably not. So, but it's nice to have. So then getting back to these bins, so he had this bin. Or what do you call this? A knick-knack rack or something. They had these two and these two. Of course, I got the drawers all out of these right now. But all these bins were full of slablets, and these peanut butter cans were full of slablets. And so apparently this guy was doing some rock stuff, because right here is a tray, and these are all preforms. These are just, what he had cut. He didn't do any shaping yet other than, the round thing. And what this guy actually did was he was making these wood things. What they are, I don't know. But that's what this guy did. He made these little wood things that he was putting stones in. So if anybody's seen anything like that, I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. And there's, so yeah, that's what the guy was doing. He was making these wood things. So
yes,
got
Jerry got an outstanding deal.
He's got some really looking stuff, really weird looking stuff. So yeah, so anyhow, so one of them was this. I got a spray bottle here somewhere. I'll kind of just spray this a little bit here and tilt it in the sun. I know this is going to be kind of blocking the light now. So this is all agates, and Brazilian and the like, but just all Botswanas in there, and then some other agates. But this is just all agates, and if you get there's kind of a look. This is, there's some pretty good chunks in here. But yes, this whole tub here is agates. So there's that. Now this bin, get this wet here. Now this bin here again is and this is deep. I mean, these are some pretty thick bins, but this whole entire bin is all as far down, and every size, every kind of stone.
Hello, Papa Jones.
Palm root, agates, some kind of jade, crazy lace. I mean, you name it. Turtellas in here. Some green moss. And this whole thing, there's lapis in here. And, some turtella in there. If anybody knows from the Discord. This looks like maybe some dolomite. Different kinds of seam agates. Maybe poppy jasper or gem silica, chrysocolla pieces in there. Maybe petrified wood. And then, like I say, this right down to the bottom is all little slablets. And people may think like, well, you know what? This saves me so much time just to cut the slabs alone. And how many oil changes on the slab saw is it going to save me? So yes, this is great dendritic jaspers. Some kind of a dendritic opal. But yeah, this is going to save me so much time where I don't have to slab anything. All I got to do is just trim it out. And if you can look there, he's even got these like where he planned on putting his cab. So yeah, right? And a lot of this stuff, I don't even know what shouldn't say half, but a lot of this is, there's some really beautiful stuff in here. And this is whole entire, bins full of this. So this is another tub right here. All right, we'll grab another one here. Let me get this Ray bottle. So again, here's another bin. It's got some kind of a coral fossils in there. It's got some of this bacony looking, maybe that's a colored onyx or something, maybe. Some kind of clear stuff with some something on there. I don't know. Oh, there's a bunch of this African blue lace in there. Here's some, let me get this spray bottle again here. There's some palm root, but this is like black. So that's kind of cool, black palm root.
Repeat how you got all this stuff.
Do what?
Repeat how you got all this stuff.
Oh, it's an estate sale. I got this all at an estate sale. Everything came from one estate sale. It was all in, buy all. So yeah, this was all from one old guy that passed away, and he left it to his kids, and they didn't want nothing to do with it.
And how much did you pay for it?
$250 for the whole lot with the trim saw, the arbor, and the flat lap. So yeah, some of this is some crazy looking stuff. So he originally at some time he paid $425 for just for this one slab. There's I don't know if that's moss or Katy Mountain or something. Look at that crazy looking Fossley looking piece. All kinds of weird stuff in there. Look at this polka dotty stuff. There's Adventurine. Pretty cool looking. Oh, right here, this is, if anybody knows what that is, that's purple jade. There's, this red stuff. There's rhodonite. There's, again, this is just, he's got that marked out with little cab markings on there. Maybe, I don't know what that is. This is, I can't think of the name, it'll come to me. Morturtella, dendritic opal or something. Looks like a, doesn't that look like a stadium full of people? Maybe a soccer game. $1.50 paid for that. And different looking agate, onyxy looking stuff. Here's a
Jerry was
big
very
piece.
lucky to find this stuff.
And all the work was done. Leopard skin. Here's a crazy looking piece. Paid 75 cents for that. What a bargain, right? And again, just, right down. And like I say, this lapis. Anybody knows lapis? And yeah, I got trays of or bins of lapis, but lapis is pretty expensive. Depends on where it comes from. The Afghan. I've got Afghan lapis, which is better than the stuff that comes from Russia. I'm an Afghan although it's the Taliban, yeah, whatever. They got some good lapis. That's what counts, right? Okay, now here is, these are picture stones, all kinds of different, different picture stones, some dendritic stuff in there, cool looking stuff. There's some more dendrites. But yes, real Cool looking picture stones. This is a let me dig around here. And this is amethyst, of course, but this isn't just regular amethyst. This is, you know, it's kind of hard to see, but this is you know, facetable amethyst, you know, the people that the gem cutters use. Some pretty clear stuff. Get maybe like a piece like I can hold it up. But yeah, you could probably facet some of this. There's this interesting stuff. Again, don't really know what it is. If this is some kind of a fossil. Pretty soft though. And then underneath that is the whole tray of half-cut agates, thunder eggs in the bottom of this. Okay, so there's that. And then this nice collectible crate that came in. It says sterilize tax. So why you'd have to sterilize tax, I don't know. Maybe that's some kind of a horse lingo, right? Okay, so there's this bin here. And some of this I was able to not necessarily identify, but get with similar stuff. So
how old do you think this collection is?
well, if the guy passed away and, you know, it had to be sitting at this guy's, because, you know, it was pretty dirty, pretty filthy. The bins, all these bins had been duct taped, like to keep all the things shut. And when you peel this duct tape, it's, you know, it's old duct tape. So it'd probably been sitting in this guy's basement for probably 10 years or something. So, you know, and he said that, you know, his grandpa wanted this to go to a collector. And I thought to myself, like, yeah, that's what happens to all us old collectors. We die, and then we got like bins and bins and bins of stuff that, you know, has got to go to somebody. And I thought, maybe I shouldn't be buying stuff anymore, because I'm probably going to be the next one that dies. And no, I'm buying it all. Of course I'm buying it all. I'm not going to pass. I don't care if I'm going to die tomorrow. I'm going to buy it all, right? That's what we do. We keep buying, right?
Yeah, his equipment does look very old.
There's, yeah, if you look at just, I mean, that lower tone, I mean, yeah, that's, even though it looks really nice, yeah, that's ancient. And you can see, well, I like the motors, you know, I mean, everybody puts these cheap, junky motors on stuff now. This is a General Electric motor. You know how long it's been since I seen a General Electric motor? So yes, these are ancient.
Yes, it does tell that that's old.
And that one too doesn't even say what it is, but yeah, so this stuff, and this is all homemade. I mean, he made this stuff. Look at that switch, the on-off switch, you know, and then the motor, of course, with the wet flat lap right next to the motor. You're thinking like, wow, you know, that's giving it a go.
Busy with your...
Oh, am I?
Yes, you're going to.
All right, I'm moving around too fast. I'll slow it down. So, okay, so here was, of course, if you can see there, Mexican crazy lace. Lots of Mexican crazy lace. This is all superior agates and superior fossils. You can see like some chain coral in there. And if I reach down in here, see if I can pull out an agate. Yeah. Yeah, I know, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm looking around the camera rather than through. But yeah, these are some Lake Superior agates. That's probably not a real good one to show. But yeah, that's what's all in there. Lake Superior agates. This is a whole entire bin of, let me hold her up here. Ooh. of tiger eye. And this is a pretty big pin. It's got some big red slabs and some blue stuff. I got tons of tiger eye, but it's tiger eye. Okay, then we got this bin here with some different petrified algae, some kind of agates, unikite from upper Wisconsin. Let me see here. And again, this is some kind of, if this is like a gem silica maybe or something.
Donahue Webb says, well, you can't never have enough tiger eye.
Yeah. I'll hold on a second. So and this is some kind of what they call this, like lizard stone or something. I've heard it called a few different things, but there's actually a couple different varieties in there. But it's pretty cool looking. Of course, everybody's knows ruby and zozite. If it was dark enough in here, I could show you with the UV light how this the ruby part just glows. I mean, it literally just glows bright red. And here was his template. Even like this template alone, although I can't. As a matter of fact, I did see the other half of it somewhere. We could probably get a name off of it. But yeah, even this template guide is. I've never seen one of these with squares on it. And of course, and if you look, that will give you kind of an idea of the age of it too, is if you look at his cabs, what are his cabs? They're all ovals. There's a couple circles, but all ovals. That's telling you right there that this guy's probably from the 80s and 90s, where we just made ovals back then. We weren't doing free forms. Everybody wanted that standard shape of ovals, circles, occasional cushion cut, but it was maybe mainly ovals and rounds. So yeah, things have come a long way. So there's bins of this, which I don't know. Oh, there was even like some scrap silver in there. Hey, look at that. Even made a little thing for a ring. Oh, and then there was this. Let me see if I get this up in light. And it said watermelon tourmaline, and then black tourmaline. I thought, oh, and this is heavy. I'm thinking like, oh, watermelon tourmaline. Oh, this is gonna be a big, beautiful piece of watermelon tourmaline. No, just black. That's still all right, but it's just it's common black. And if people may not be familiar with this, black tourmaline is pretty common, and it's in a lot of different forms in different things. So interesting, yes, cool, because it's a big chunk. Worth anything? No, not worth nothing. Whoop, almost fell. Okay, then let me see as we go on down the line here. There's this interesting stuff. Again, I don't know what that is. There's this. It's kind of got like a pinkish hue to it. Maybe even with a little bit of...
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, Vicky, if you're there. So maybe a little turquoise in there. I don't know. Possibly.
You want to tell everybody what this stuff is and where you got it from again for all the people that are just showing up?
Yeah, I was at an estate sale. Again, I'll quick go through it. I was at an estate sale this week on Saturday morning, and I bought all this stuff. It was all in one money for the whole lot. So I got a trim saw, an arbor, flat lap, and then all the rocks. So we're just going through the rocks right now. It's basically, you know, rocks, pretty much at rocks that everybody sees. So, and then this bag right here, yes, turquoise. And this is old turquoise, real turquoise, not the fake stuff. And of course, it's just some small pieces. But for this old original turquoise, they want a lot of money for this stuff. So pretty
Yes,
cool.
it is very bright.
Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. And of course, there was some obsidian, different obsidians. Okay, and then under the bin here, move around some stuff around here. Again, more, you know, there's clear agate slices, some stuff I don't even know.
Right
My
there.
spray bottle. Hold on here. Oh, I'll probably make people dizzy again. Let me get some of this stuff wet. So yeah, there's some, you know.
Jeff said there's never any estate stuff up by him.
There's never any estate sales. Yeah. So there's some interesting stuff in here again. Oop. I'm looking at it myself, right? I already did that. So yeah, some lepidolites and you know, different forms of types of agates and wonderstones and you name it. And then there's this stuff here. Whoop, slipping out of frame again, right? So this interesting stuff here. And yeah, so then if I jump over here and let's get this wet. Let me hold this, move this.
And what have everybody been talking about this past
Yes,
week?
you know, everybody has been talking about the Spencer Opal. Me too. I ordered some last Sunday and I haven't heard nothing. I haven't heard nothing from anybody, so I don't have a clue what's going on. Whatever. So yeah, it's so funny that people were talking about opal. So these trays were full of opal, and this is Australian. And of course, you know, I told you I had this from since Saturday, so of course, I couldn't let it sit. I I had to start mucking around with it, and I don't know if I could hold a couple pieces up here.
Jeff said that his has been shipped, but he hasn't gotten it yet.
Oh yeah. So yeah, yeah, like I say, I haven't heard nothing. I didn't get no invoice. There's a good look at it. So yeah, so I've been kind of horsing around with this stuff.
Wants to know any facet rough I'm required by law to ask.
Any faceted rough?
Yeah.
No, it's all rough. I just did all this myself. Let me say, I don't know what's showing up. Like I say, I can't zoom in with this camera because it's on video mode, but
You can see some of it.
yeah, you can see some of it, right? So yeah, so this whole tray, there's a good purple one. This whole tray was opal. Yeah, you can really see that one good. Opal, there's some reds in here. You know, if I could find the red. Let's see. But a lot of it's just this little, you know, real light. I don't know what I did with I know there was some reds in here. So yeah, I can't. I'm holding in the sun, so I can't see the screen of my camera to see what's showing up. But yeah, so this whole bin was opals. All right. Oh, one. Whoop. There, you see that one real good. And there was even a couple.
Jeff's gonna cry.
There was a
Hey,
couple
watch
like
what you're watching here.
watch what I'm watching.
Yes.
Oh yes, there was a couple like seashells that were like opalized seashells in there too. So this is like a part of a seashell. So what you'd even do with that, I don't really know. Oop.
All right. So how much did you pay for all this
But
stuff,
yeah,
Jerry?
so $250 for the whole entire lot. Oh, and then there was even one, of course, one fire opal in there. All right. Oh, there you can see it real good. So yeah, so $250 for the whole entire lot. And now,
most of the work done.
yes, they were all everything. Yeah, Jeff, even a whole box of already preformed. They're just cut round or the shape. All I gotta do is run them on the cab machine. So that right there alone saves me a month of work. So yeah, so now, and there was one 5-gallon pail of rough rock. So in the 5-gallon pail of rough rock was this nice piece of rainforest jasper. And this is a big chunk. So nice piece of rainforest. There's this nice piece of, who knows until I cut it, stuff, right? There's this piece of,
Hi, Opal guy.
there's this piece of, Opal guy showed up.
Yeah.
Hey, Opal guy. Hey, since you're the Opal guy.
See some of it.
Oh, you did see some of
Yeah.
it? Oh.
Just in time.
So, yeah. So then there's a piece of crazy lace. Let me I can get this wet here too. A couple pieces of Indian bloodstone, big chunks. This is another one of those Indian bloodstones. This is I could probably, let me see if I can get this wet. Hold on a second here. A big old chunk of crazy lace, and of course, yeah, crazy lace. Everybody's got that, right? This is a piece of mystery agate. The mystery is, I don't know what it is. Right? Another piece of mystery surprise. Who knows, right? Piece of something we don't know. This is a piece. This is a dendritic opal, Australia. He paid $1.50 for that. I get that wet, maybe that helps. Pretty nice piece. Some kind of banded or layered something. Big, huge chunk of snowflake obsidian. This is at least a 5-pound chunk. Snowflake. Whoop, I'm falling. This stuff has got some kind of a blue look to it, crystally blue look. And then, of course, some different agate pieces, petrified wood, a couple different pieces of petrified wood in there. So yeah, petrified wood, little opal in there too. Whoop, little opalized petrified wood. And then in the other half of the bucket, spin around here, there was this. Whoops, sorry. Let me spray this down a little bit. Now, this giant agate, this is, one crazy looking agate. I don't really know what it is, but man, that's one big chunk of crazy looking agate. Love it. And then right here is a piece of purple jade. All right, why not? And this isn't like lepidolite or nothing like that, because if you feel how heavy this is and how hard it is, and of course it's got that skin on there. This is purple jade. Pretty nice. You can tell it too by that sharp corners on there. Yeah.
Jeff wants to clean that crazy
Beautiful.
agate.
Yeah, that's a beautiful agate, huh? Man. And then of course the what I was calling bacon stone. I'm sure it's just some kind of picture jasper of some sort or something. I'll probably see that better in the shade than you can in the sun, right? A piece of this African blue lace. Not a huge piece, but you know, if you look at the pattern on it and how big the pattern is, that's you know, a couple bucks there. And then oh yeah, let me get this thing wet here. Here's a chunk.
Maybe Wonderstone?
Yeah, something like that, right. This is a piece of smoky quartz. And I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, this thing doesn't even have like a lot of in it. I mean, it's got some coidal fractures on the outside, but man, there's not even any like fractures in here, nothing. So as far as smoky quartz go, this would be a great piece to facet. Nice looking piece of smoky. Now this guy here, if you kind of look, you know, is this dino bone, or is this some kind of fossil algae or something? I don't know if that's focusing or not.
Yep, it's focusing.
I mean, it's got kind of like cellularification, but I'm not a real expert on this. Maybe like whalebone or something. But it seems to be round, like round every direction you look at it. It seems to have the same look to it. So that would think like maybe it's not bone.
Not bone.
Some kind of
Oolitic jasper?
yeah, some kind of fossilized something, you know. But nonetheless, pretty cool. And then of course the last one's in the bucket. Is this stuff. So I don't know if this is like that stuff from you know, Gemfield, Nevada, maybe. Like that gem silica, maybe. Get another piece out of here. Not really sure. You know, it has some pink mottled with some green in there. And then it's got the green. There's where he was cutting into it with his old handmade saws. It's very translucent. I mean, obviously this is a thick stone, but it's really translucent. It's pretty cool looking stuff. And it even comes in this whoop, drop my thing here. So here's nice looking pink. And of course it's still got some of the green, but yes, so it's you know, really translucent. Kind of looked like that stuff Karen had that somebody had brought to her from the gem fields. I don't know.
We wouldn't want the Kool-Aid man here.
And then, like I say, a couple more big pieces of that. The Kool-Aid man? Why? What's the Kool-Aid man? People breaking through the door?
Let's keep saying it. As long as you keep saying, oh, wow.
Oh.
Because if you say, because that's what you say, get the Kool-Aid man to come.
Right. So, who said you can't have too much tiger eye? This is a green bean bin. This thing is probably, 15 inches wide, 16 inches tall at least. And this is just my blue. There's no other color in here than just blue. And this is all blue tiger eye. This bin, there's got to be probably 100 pounds of blue. So that's just the blue. Where my red and gold is, somewhere up in here is my red and gold, and that's,
You're losing.
Probably half that. No, that was already down to 9 before. Not too many people stuck around. So yeah, so this is my find. If it was a little bit darker, I could show you that ruby and zozite, but I'd have to close stuff down, whatever. So yeah, look at all that work done for me. Will I ever get all this cabbed up? Will I ever get all that cut up? I don't know. I doubt it, right? Let me scare Brenda again. Whoop. Wrong way, right? Switch.
It was an amazing find.
So yeah, that's just to let people know, keep an eye out, Craigslist, Marketplace, there's still good finds to be had out there. And like I say, I seen that ad and I just thought, I'll check it out. It's Saturday. I didn't leave on Sunday like I normally do. We never run because of the holiday on Monday. So I thought, well, I'll just check it out. Brenda was up at the cottage up in Crandon, so I thought I'll just check it out, and if there's something to get, there's something to get. So
She wanted to know if all the drawers were full.
All them drawers and them bins, yeah, that's where all the little slablets were in. All them bins, and if everything was mixed, or camera's up here, I keep forgetting, I'm looking down here. So yeah, if every bin had like the same kind of stone in it, I would have just left them because, it's already, but that just lets you know, out of all them bins, that's how many different kinds of stones there are here, that every bin had like a mix and match of just, he must have just been cramming stuff in bins. There was no rhyme or reason of how he was putting stuff in bins. Even some of the stuff that is easily the same thing wasn't in the same bin. So why he was just, this bin's got a room for 2 and you would put 2 in there and this room's got, and that's how he was going about doing stuff. How much of this stuff that he cut himself with his trim saw, anybody's guess, all I know is like some of them bigger pieces, well, he wasn't cutting them unless, they had a slab saw and they sold that separately. I guess it's always a possibility. So, yeah, it saves me. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't want this stuff, but it's going to save me a ton of work in the long run. If people want that particular shape, which, we hear a lot nowadays, the oval and the circle, like, oval, ew, yucky, ovals. Well, it's traditional, it's what we've always did. If you would go to Kingsley or Fire Mountain or 100 of the other places and search findings, they're not going to make a finding for a freeform. You'd make a freeform cabochon, and you have to make which we do, we make our own silver settings, but if you do free forms, then you have to make your own. Well, you can hire somebody to do it too, right? Karen or something, right? Or Melissa. So yes, but if you do that, you have to make your own finding. But now if you make a oval or a round, and I think that's all they sell is ovals and rounds, and it's all done by millimeter. If you ever look at the gauges, they're millimeters, and you can buy your finding to fit that specific stone. Then you buy your finding plop your stone in it, whether it's got crimps on it, you can crimp it down or glue it in place, and you're done. That's the way things were done back in um, earlier days. Not saying I know that, but that's how stuff was done back then. Was the simple way. So yes, we didn't have all these fancy things. We used this old equipment, and yeah, that's what people got by on. So now everybody's fancy. Now they even got these holders that will like do the whole cabochon. Like you don't even have to hold the stone anymore to make a cat. Although, and that's another point I was talking to, when you talked about a domed cabochon, that means it's got a dome on it. That's a cabochon, domed. So these people with the rounded edges and flat top, that's what they're using these machines now. They're getting out of China and Japan or wherever they're coming from that make these cabochons, and that's what they're really doing. They're taking a blank and they're just rounding over the edges and they're flattening the top, and you see a lot of that at these shows. That these cabochons aren't domed cabs, and I mean I've seen people with like cabs that are like 2 inches thick, like and like some of the people that watch some of my videos from other countries, they make these rings and stuff, and if you ever watch them, they're doing all this stuff with a hand grinder. They're hand grinding the stone while they're holding it in their hand, and it's like, wow, that's crazy. But they make these big domey things over there that's popular, with these rings with this big huge dome on there, which is kind of cool if you got the stone for it or the look of the stone. But we don't do that stuff here. So I've seen other people, when people slab stuff, because the price of material, I mean slabs are going from like this thick, and then now you're getting slabs that are like, what, 1/8 of an inch. If you put a dome on it, you can't even have a bezel on it, because there's nothing left. I mean, there's just not enough stone there to work anymore. But I mean, I understand the prices of stone you have to do, and if you're one of those people that are buying slabs, then you have to just buy what there is. So I've looked through some of these, and some of these slabs were thin.
Someone wants to know why she's jealous. You want to tell her what your find was here?
Oh, Cheryl, hey Cheryl.
Yeah.
But these slabs, these are like the old day slabs. And this one's, to me, this is even a little thin. I cut mine even thicker. If people are familiar with slab saws, I crank out 9 turns of the handle. So I make a pretty thick slab, because I like to make a nice high dome, and that's just the way it is.
So you want to reiterate what you just went through?
Yeah, Cheryl. So I got 3/8, right? So yeah, Cheryl. So I got some. I got a trim saw, an arbor, a Lortone arbor, and a flat lap, and a ton of material already slabbed. A lot of it's already cut out into the shapes, the cabochon shapes. I got a tray of opals. I got some nice pieces of turquoise. I got some really cool looking rough stuff. So, yeah, just a ton of stuff. Not a ton of stuff. Probably, maybe total, maybe under 100 pounds. Or not counting the equipment, but the stones, maybe under 100 pounds. But because it's all slab, all the work, almost all of it's slab. There's a few rough rock. So all the work is done for me as far as up to that stage. And it's just like going to a rock show and buying somebody else's slabs, kind of similar to that. So everything's slabbed up, ready to go. How many kinds of stone there is here, I don't even know. I've got probably 100 different varieties of rocks that I have in my collection, and there's stuff here I've never seen before. So I mean, some of it I have, and of course, if you watch a couple of my shorts this week, where I had one slab and I made 3 stones out of one slab. That the variety you can get in one slab alone looks like it's 3 different types of rock, but it's just one. It was just a piece of jasper that had 3 different variations in that one piece. Yes, it's Wisconsin. The mosquitoes are here, are big enough to pick you up and take you out by the arbors and suck you dry like that Will Ferrell movie where they're talking to him. Remember where he's sitting at the campfire and he turns white and they're like, "Hey, you feeling all right?" And that guy, he's got that giant mosquito on his back that's that big and sucking all his blood out. That's what they're like. We got like 2 types right now. We got these ones that are smaller than a sliver you can't even see and they're biting you. And then we got these huge striped ones that are like as big as a bird. So yes, so
What's our arbors?
Who wants the arbors?
Yeah.
The trees? Who does?
Jeff.
Oh no, he's talking about the arbor.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, like you say, yeah, it's sweet, right? And like you say, Jeff, that's the kind where you put the grinding wheel. It's got a grinding wheel on there. I keep looking down at the screen. It's got the grinding wheel on it, and you know, the other side, oh, he's got 2 wheels on there. The other side is for the expandable drum, so you can put the expandable drum on there, and then all you got to do is
know if you want to sell it.
I know he wants to know. I'm trying to avoid the question. And then you can just change belts, and then, you know, la-da-da-da-da, you know, it's like whatever, nice. Otherwise, you can get 2, and it's an 8-inch too. This is an 8. I didn't say that before. This is an 8-inch. It's the oh yeah, maybe I did. It's the SA8. So yes, you can. Otherwise, you can get 2 like sintered diamond wheels. You know, maybe like an 80 and 100, and then just use this for your grinding, and then on your cab machine, you know, you can just run all Nova wheels up to, you know, they sell a ton, whatever. They could sell more Nova wheels than you actually need. I mean, you don't need every 100 grit. I mean, you know, yeah, I guess if that's how you want to do it. And, you know, some people do that, but, you know, how much stuff you pick up with like my eyes like mine, you know, I could probably finish with an 80 grit wheel and it would like, oh yeah, it looks really nice. And then somebody else would be like looking at it like, going, dude, you're nuts. It's all scratched to crap. You know, okay, you know. Yeah, so do I want to sell it? Yeah, I don't know. I just got it. I haven't thought about it. You know, do I need it? No, you know. Maybe it's a all for one deal, Jeff. You can get the nice flat lap, the nice arbor, and this beautiful homemade 8-inch trim saw, all for one low price of, you know, like $400. Then I'm only making $150 Oh, I mean, I'm not counting the rocks and the opals and the turquoise and stuff. Then I'm only making a couple dollars. You know, and if you weren't here at the beginning of the video, I stood out in the cold for this stuff. I mean, it was like 36 degrees, and I stood outside for hours, weeks. I mean, I was there like a week ahead of time, thinking nobody's gonna beat me. So I pitched a tent camp. I had my heater there. So, you know, that all has added on value. So, you know, it's what we like to do. But yeah, I don't know if you're serious or not. You know, like I say, I just got this stuff. Of course, that the arbor doesn't have a motor. You know, if you can just see
you want to take your phone and show them again?
Oh yeah, okay. Oh.
I want to apologize for my cough. We had COVID. And
yes, I told everybody we had COVID a while ago. So Brenda still has the COVID, cough. The killer COVID cough. And since we're over here, hey, look at that. Oh, sweet. Oh man, look at that. Of course, I'm from Wisconsin. I have a Harley, right? So yeah, it doesn't have the motor, and it's got a couple different speed wheels on there. And yeah, it doesn't look like like they came with a motor because there's no mounts on here. So I've looked some of them up online, and it shows like they did it like a setup like this, where they put it on a piece of wood and then just stuck the wood behind here. And again, to tighten the belt, you would think it would like flip up or something. I don't know. I'm no expert in these things. So, but there's no way to mount this guy down to a table either, because there's no mounting holes in there. So I don't know how they did that back in the day, back in the 20s when they were doing this stuff. So got a nice little drain hole there. And then that drain hole, what did you hook up to that drain hole to, to drain it? That little PEX line? Is that what they were? Maybe. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, what a beautiful machine. Yeah, and these old Lortones, yeah, they want a
Run
arm and a
runs
leg.
with clips.
Oh, with clips? Well, see, there you go. See, there is some people in the know that actually know more than what we know. So yeah, you know, like I said, I'm still here.
Yep.
So like I said, I'm a truck driver, so I'm not gonna do any work. I'm just gonna buy the crap. I'm just surprised I'm not just going out to these rock and gem shows and buying the stones that are already cabbed and done. Oh, well, why even skip that step? Just go buy already stuff that's already jewelry. Why am I doing any of this work? I'm so tired. I'm so old and tired. Because I love it. I love it. I love taking stones, rough stones, and cabbing them up. And time for a drink. And cabbing stuff up, and it's what we all love. We just love looking. I mean, and it's funny too, because every sponsored by Dancini, the water with the great taste because it's got salt. So yes, we all love working with rocks, and every time I cut a rock, and every slice I cut off that rock, and if you do that too, you hear that, for my slab saw with the automatic shut off, or the familiar kunk when the slab falls off and drops onto the little platform there. You're like, oh, it's done, like, all right, cool. You run over there and you pop her open, and you wanna look at it and see what it looks like, because that's mosquito. Dang.
You should just go a quick preview of what you had,
So,
not individual, because the people that are just joining don't know exactly what you were talking about or seeing.
So yeah, but like you say, that's because every slice, and of course there's some stuff that you cut it 100 times that every piece looks identical. The ones that are certain colors, like are the same color, but a lot of stones aren't like that. So every single piece that you cut is like looking at a brand new rock. So yes, and then the hardnesses of stuff to see what you can get to a polish and stuff. For anybody that might have joined late, here's a quick rundown of what we had. A bin of slabs, a bin of agate slabs, a bin of slabs, a bin of cut agates, amethyst, some rough rock.
Hi, Rick.
Rough rock. We got crazy lace, superior agates, bins and bins, or little bins of stuff. Tiger eye, rough rock, more slabs, a whole tray of opals, some big black tourmalines. And since everybody was talking about the opals nowadays or recently, yeah, we got some. There was a whole bin. And like I say, I can't see the screen of my phone right now because it's in the sun. But yeah, this is a whole. Maybe if I move the whole thing around, you can see something. Maybe not. Sun's starting to go down. But yeah, whole thing of opals. And then we got a flat lap, and it works. The motor works. Old ancient GE motors, lower tone arbor, and then the trim saw. So yeah, that was all came in a deal. And of course, this was the. Let me spray this off again real quick here for you. This was the one of the showstoppers in there was this crazy looking agate. And this thing's got so many moving parts inside of it. You know, what a beauty. And then, like I say, a lot of, assorted rocks.
What's to know what the purple specimen was again?
Purple.
Your jade. I think she's talking about.
Oh, the purple jade one? Yeah, that's, we're losing sun real fast. Purple jade.
And where did you get all this stuff?
At an estate sale.
For how much?
$250 for the whole thing. That's your purple jade. If you like jade. Let's see if I can even get over here. These are my jade bins. And this is, of course, this is dry here. I didn't bring the spray bottle with me. But this whole bin and this whole bin is all jade. And there's some, there's some beautiful, most of it's Wyoming. And if people aren't familiar with jade, jade just doesn't come in green. Jade actually comes in multiple colors, like the purple, the green, the mottled. There's some black in here. There's some really translucent-y stuff in here. There's some pink in here. And again, I think this is the stuff that's kind of got like a pinkish hue to it. And you can see these sharp edges on this jade. And if anybody's not familiar with jade it's actually kind of soft as far as, its hardness, but it's how other stones are like you drop a cab on the floor and it'll break into 100 pieces. That's where jade is different. Jade is really strong that way.
It came in purple.
So yes, it's the purple stuff comes from Turkey. So purple jade is from Turkey. I mean, I'm sure it comes from a couple other countries, but did you see that? Oh, is that nice? Man, that's nice. So yeah, purple jade from Turkey. That's probably the most common stuff you can acquire nowadays is the purple from Turkey. So that's what I see all the time for sale is the Turkish jade. But it comes. What? You talk for a second, brother.
I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about. He goes off on tangents and he forgets what we were here for originally.
I said that it was going to get dark enough.
Yes.
That I could turn the lights down, which for us is close the garage.
All right, we're in the garage, so you the door.
Okay. We're doing Burl.
And the mosquitoes are starting to come out,
Come
so.
on. Come on. It's going to get dark in here for a second.
Yes,
is it pretty dark?
Yes, it's very dark.
Because we are going to look at. Tell me where. Oh, I should be able to see you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I can still see you. Okay, see that? I don't want to blind the dog, though. There's your ruby and zozite. Oh, look at those rubies. And if anybody's not familiar with how rubies fluoresce, yes, is that not sweet? Let me get another piece out of there.
So all this stuff came from an estate sale that Jerry went to.
Here's another piece. Oh, look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yes, ruby and zozite. Right? Isn't that stuff awesome? Beautiful. Oop. So yeah, so that's the what rubies look like under the black light. Pretty cool. There's some other stuff, and I did UV a bunch of the stuff. What?
I did see.
I did UV a bunch of stuff, and of course there was the stuff that looks orange. You know, like some of the petrified woods and stuff look orange, and you know, anything that's white kind of looks like the color of the light, maybe kind of ish. So, you know, nothing super glowy, nothing really weird, just the basic whatever. But I knew the ruby. I knew the ruby and zozite was always a good glower. So yeah, so I've got lots of work. And if anybody's looking for a Shed's 5-pound peanut butter can, I got them a bargain online. They're $15. I'll sell them to you one time only. $14. You pay shipping. So what a bargain! I think online they're free shipping. So I'm only charging you for shipping, which is only fair because they're antiques. I don't even think Shed's is around anymore. Maybe they're not. Maybe they are. So yeah. So I don't know. So yeah. So thanks everybody for watching and tuning in. The couple people that came in. Rick, I didn't even see you in there. Brenda didn't.
Yeah, Dad. I said hi.
Oh.
You were talking.
Brenda said hi to you. I didn't say hi. So hey, how's it going?
Already.
So yeah, and then like I say, everybody on the Discord with the cabochons, some really cool cabochons. That was a tough thing, you know. I was surprised, you know, because he said fossil, and you're kind of thinking like fossil. Yeah, but then it really expanded to pretty much everything, right? So yes, fossilized is a big difference than fossil. You know, if you would do like a fossil, it's almost impossible to cab a fossil. So yeah, that was a tough thing. So, you know, maybe who's ever, if anybody here is going to be the winner this week, and you, or whenever it does come, do something simple like something blue or something green or something red or something yellow. Let's make it easier. And yeah, there's that. So yeah, so you guys all have a good one. Thanks for showing up. The two people that showed up, thanks for showing up. And yeah, maybe if I do more lives, and it won't be on, what is today, Monday? Yeah, because I'm not working today because of the holiday. So wow, a rare time off for the truck drivers. So yeah, so thanks for the people that showed up. And we'll see you soon. Maybe I'll put another video out this week. Hard telling. We'll see what happens. So yeah. So thanks a lot, everybody. See you around. Have a good one. Brenda, say hi. Bye.
Bye.
Now we just got to figure out how to stop this.
You gotta do it on your phone.
Stop. Oh yeah, it's on my phone. There's no stop button. Are you sure you want to stop? Okay.